Okay, pleasant morning.
Hello
Magandang
to you
umaga
all.
sa
Good
inyong
day,
lahat.
good day to everybody all over the world.
Napakaliwanag dito sa amin ngayon. Opposite
Oo
nung
nga.
isang linggo at
Last week, maulan.
ulan. No?
Nasisilaw kami sa liwanag ng araw.
So,
Ganyan talaga,
but alam
weather
nyo,
lang
kagandahan
sa akin.
naman siguro ma-share natin sa lahat. Alam nyo, blue yung ating dagat.
Malinis ba?
Malinis.
Pati yung sky ngayon.
Yung
Oh,
sky. Parang
nice.
nagsanib yung dalawa. Isang light, isang dark.
Oh, nice.
So anyway, kaya ako nahibabanggit yung mga ganyan na bagay dahil alam nyo, minsan yung ating sa buhay natin, di ba? Trouble will come and go
Ay,
Oo.
oo.
Di ba?
Into each.
Meron na akong proverb dyan. There is no house where you can hang. There is no trouble here. Wala daw bahay na pwedeng lagyan ng
Wala kang
pastelang
sign na
signage
ganyan.
na there is no trouble. Laging every place may trouble.
Palagi may trouble.
Oo.
It's how you handle
Siguro
the
kahit
trouble
planeta,
that comes
wala.
your way.
Oh, yes.
Di ba? For example, di ba dito,
Oo.
ito nga sa
Ano yan, life skill,
sa
ha?
laki
We
ng
need to
problema
learn
ng
this.
pandemya natin, hindi ba? Lumalaki pa Alam nyo, tapos nakikita natin yung mga liderato natin, ang kanilang binibigyan pansin yung mga bagay na
Yung mga fault of each other.
naghahanap lang
Finding
ng-
fault pa sila dyan.
Naku.
alam mo,
Oo.
sa panahon ngayon, dapat mag-status quo na muna tayo para naman bigyan natin ng pansin yung talagang kinakailangan ng mga tao.
Tulungan
Yes.
na, wag turuan.
Tutulungan. Hindi yung, kumbaga, you distract people from the real issue
Oo.
Kasi unahin natin yung nangyayari sa itong sa pandemya na hindi gumagaang ang ating kondisyon, naghihirap ang mga tao.
Pero
Ayun
sinasabi
na nga.
kaya lang daw, lumaki rin yung problema dahil nangurakot yung mga ibang politicians para nabawasan tuloy yung funding para sa COVID pandemic.
Siyempre, may everybody has its own reasons for
Kanya-kanya.
why. But at the same time, the
Kanya-kanyang
point
take.
is, it's not about who is taking this or who's taking it. It's about, look, let's focus on the work that needs to get done. Because one, it affects everybody Kumbaga, this whole pandemic thing, katulad yan, di ba, our government, si Joey Concepcion, he tries to, to get some economic activity
Sa
going
business
on.
siya, di ba? Sa entrepreneurship.
They're trying to
Oo.
put it together, like, at least, you can appreciate the effort they're doing.
O kasi
Simply
kailangan ng
because
tao
kailangan na
magtrabaho.
nun Pero, the other side, who's dealing with the pandemic directly, should really do the best of what they can do.
Oo.
Kasi by now, dapat nakakaano na tayo Okay, we have to open up a bit. Yung mga ganun na Kasi we have, kumbaga marami na tayo mga lessons learned. In the middle of the whole thing, nagbago na naman ng new coding. Alam mo,
Palit lang
signal
sila
number
ng
1, signal number 2. Yung mga ganun naman. Sana nga, na lang.
Pero alert number 1, number 2.
Yun nga.
Alert number 2.
Kumbaga binagay dun sa typhoon.
Binagay sa mga...
Sige.
Iba-iba lang yung kanilang label, pero
But on the end of the day,
CQ pa rin, CQ.
let's deal with the troubles that come our way. Now, see, that's why nga, you eliminate certain things that is unnecessary and focus on the trouble that is coming your way or that's
Yeah.
troubling you at the moment.
I think number 1 dapat stay calm.
Yeah,
Huwag tayong
that's it.
mag-away.
That's exactly what it is. Let's not get emotional about it.
Oo.
Forgiveness, yung ating
Alright,
last
yung
show.
last,
Dapat
natin, di
yan
ba?
muna.
You have to be
Forgiveness.
forgiving kasi, alam mo, if you see the leadership treating each other like this, how
Bad
can the
example.
common man respond to such situation?
Oo.
Kasi kung ganyan, sabihin na lang natin, that's entertainment. Na may mga ganun
Buti
yan
kung nakaka-entertain ka.
Pero
oo.
yun-
Nakakainis
Pero yung entertainment yata, hindi yata ganun. Kasi kumbaga you know how things happen in our own lives? If there are trouble things that enters your head, you cannot focus on the work that you need to get done.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Tsaka
Ganun eh.
one thing din, di ba? Pag may trouble, hindi laging kasi siya. Baka naman tayo rin may kasalanan.
Oh,
di ba?
yes.
Kailangan maisip din
That
natin,
is
ano
true.
yung role ko dito?
Sabi
Baka
niya, merong
kasalanan ko rin to.
nagsabi, there is no trouble where he was not part of it. Kung mga
Oo,
hindi
we
ba?
should also look inside. Baka meron tayong part dyan.
Okay, let's greet our
Assessment, di ba?
viewers. Magandang umaga. Kalindi, good morning. Siya na naman ang maaga na
Oo,
ngayon.
na tayong maayong
Then,
buntag.
Adelila,
Oo.
yes.
May
Lila,
magandang
good morning.
umaga.
May Gulay, again, always. Yeah.
Yung
Present.
bag na bigat.
From
Bigat ba o
Prishni.
aldaw?
Si Prishni is here.
Yes,
Yes.
he's greeting us.
Long time,
Oo.
yeah, it's been a while, no? And then
Oo.
si Patrick from Baguio.
O yun, sinaimbag
Oo.
aldaw.
Nga
Okay.
aldaw daw. Ay,
Oo.
Then
Yan ang ating
Rosalinda
Ilocano
from,
teacher.
From Okinawa. Yeah.
oo.
Then Angel Gonzalez from Cavite. Okay, you
Good
you also
day. Oo.
be very careful, no? Kasi we don't want people getting sick sa atin di ba?
Oh, yes.
Anyway, these are varieties of trouble that comes our way.
Mm-mm.
There's so many different things that come our way. Every day there's always something.
Mm-mm.
But yet
Kaya
such
magandang topic kasi lahat relevant sa atin lahat.
Sabi nga ni Angel, napapanahon yung
Mm-mm
topic.
nga,
Oo. Marami pang ibang nagbati, si Melissa Asuncion and
Oo.
Cynthia Omerga and Gemini Rose. And a
Mm-mm.
wonderful Saturday to all. God bless, sabi niya.
Oo.
Matt Resurrection, Dixie Palmos.
Oo, get well
At saka
soon.
si Krishna Salazar.
Oo.
Avelina
Cynthia
Aguas.
Obmerga. Mm-mm.
And Vina Pascua.
Mm-mm.
Oh, may Nigo Tribe.
Good morning.
And si Bert. Okay.
magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. So, alam nyo, if you have any comments, please share.
Yeah.
No? Anything that you
Join the
want to share.
conversation.
Let's
Oo.
join the topic conversation today kasi I know everybody has a type of experience to share in this sort
Correct.
of
Lahat
thing.
meron
Exactly,
yung
oo.
dinaanan na trouble,
Oo.
di ba? And how they dealt with it is all very helpful to other people,
Oo,
di ba?
Yung staying calm, very important yan. Kasi you need to assess it. You need to react properly kung emotional kagad, you tend to overdo everything, overreact.
Mm-mm.
Lalaki lalo yung problema
Oo
pag
nga.
ganyan.
Oh, ito, isa
Oo.
sa atin regular, si Miguel Vargas. Oh. Good morning from the doers. Ha?
Oo.
Miguel, you too, man.
Oo.
Takes one to
Yes.
know one.
Takes
yeah.
one to know one here. On the doer side, when
Yeah,
there's
ngayon
trouble,
time for cleaning the beach na nga
Alam mo,
pala.
there's always something when I saw the word doer kasi
Mm-mm.
if a person is constantly doing things, he's involved, he's got his feet on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Oo.
Yeah, this is a formula for your ability to be able to face the different aspects of stress and troubles that come your way. Because trouble is stress.
Yes.
Diba?
Oo.
So, but if we are actively engaged in activities, we're busy, we're doing certain things. Kasi living in this world, there's always things that you need to actually straighten out and work on. Diba? Hindi naman tayo mawawalan yan
Oo.
Minsan, sa atin nga, mas lalo, pronounce yung situation, biglang, ay, brown out.
Oo nga, after preparing things, biglang
Tapos biglang,
nakakabitin.
oops, alam mo yung sabihin, there's so many little things taking place.
Tsaka, we need to know, kaya nga mag-a-assess ka, kalmado ka. You need to know, big ba tong trouble na to?
Correct.
Or small lang pala?
Yes.
Di ba minsan yung maliit lang pinalaki na natin ang
Oh,
gulo.
kasi
Actually, merong
si Miguel is greeting. So sabi niya, kasi actually dapat na ibanggit ko kanina,
Yes.
nawala lang sa isip ko.
Today,
Today is the
Today na pala,
International
next
Coastal
week.
Cleanup.
third Saturday.
Yeah.
So this is the third Saturday of September that we
Yes.
should be out there cleaning up the beaches. And kami nga dito sa Corma, we're going to start digging up the nest sites.
Na rin,
Kasi we need to clean up the
Sabayan,
sand and
sabay.
linisan. So, any of our volunteers, please,
Yeah.
let's prepare. The turtles are coming their way now to start nesting very soon.
Kung hindi man coastal, pwede rin ang riverside.
Riverside.
Yes.
Di ba?
Kasi patungo
And then,
din sa coast yun.
There's
na
other
yun,
things for
kalat.
sustainable practices. Really, we need to make an endeavor that we have to all individually do something. Kahapon nga nasa
Or else trouble,
Zoom
yeah.
ako ang titulo ng aming webinar. Ang daming nakinig, mga 1,000 tao. All over the country, ang title was Klima. This was, the speakers were all climate scientists, water scientists of the UPLB, and the National
Mga marine scientists.
mga Marine Academy of Scientists and sa Technology ng DOST.
NES.
This group is, I've been involved with them for some time, and at least now, the reach is much better. Before, one of our first face-to-face 2 years ago. kami-kami lang yung nasa audience. Siguro 30 lahat kami. Nasaan yung mga kabataan? Saan yung mga dapat matulungan?
Ngayon mas marami
Kasi ang
na.
dami-daming informasyon silang napakagandang ipabahagi na this will guide us. Kasi yung
So we
research...
don't have big trouble.
Right. So
in
to
the
minimize,
future.
okay, sabi nila, ang pinag-uusapan, anong gagawin? Dahil yung klima nga ang issue. Isa yan. Then every person shared, some vital information with statistics that will inform everybody that we are,
We're in trouble.
we have some
We'll be
major
in
issues that
trouble pag
we
di
have
tayo
to,
gumawa ng
we
paraan.
have to do our part.
Oo.
So Miguel Vargas is saying, okay, the coastal barangays in San Fernando City went out today to do the cleanup and the
Great.
coastal seedling planting. Dito naman sa San Juan, later the youth group will have their own workshops on
Yeah.
Kurma, and then they will do their beach cleanup too. So
Everyone's doing their part. That's nice to
yes.
know. Oo.
Kami naman sa may bundok, nagpapalinis na kami sa mga upriver. Sinabihan namin yung mga barangay, sige, magtipon-tipon tayo. Choose the right time, but siyempre, pag-iingatan natin na baka hindi sila magkadikit-dikit.
Oo nga.
Kasi may
oo.
pandemya tayo. Ayaw natin maging source ng super
At
spreading.
saka yung clean up, pwede rin natin tuloy-tuloyin throughout
Throughout
the
the
months.
year.
Alalahanin nyo, may kasabihan okay, you want to be protected from what is going on. Sa virus, for example, one of the recommendation is spend some time outdoors.
Oo.
So, yan, katulad ngayon, magandang panahon. Go out
Araw
there.
kayo.
Paaraw tayo, Pag umulan, magpapaulan ba? Maliligo ba sa ulan?
Baka sipunin.
Kasi po yan.
Baka masuspect ang
Din
COVID.
maligo sa ulan. Wag lang magtagal.
Oo.
Yes.
Oo.
At meron pang bumati si Rina May and si Ramonita Capin.
Lopez Capin.
Okay, yes.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. And
Davao.
meron itong sinasabi natin na yung sinabi mo yung making troubles big or small. Sinasabi dito, a clever person turns great troubles into little ones and little ones into none at all. It's a Chinese proverb. So, ang mindset naman ng tao pag naka-encounter siya ng trouble is paano niya paliliitin to?
Yes.
How to break it down to smaller trouble.
Yeah,
And
so
then
it's
from the
manageable.
smaller is to eliminate it na kasi
Yes.
maliliit lang naman Pwede nang i-set aside or pwede madaling solve yung mga
Yeah.
ganyan.
Sana ganyan nga lagi ang isip ng tao. May iba kasi maliit lang na bagay, pinapalaki. Ginagawang issue.
In management, this is basically a rule. That's why, if you see there's something that's going to brew, you look at the very source and the root of things.
Yes,
And that's
yes.
how you will.
Evaluate.
And then, slowly, okay, I can assess, and then
Oo.
dito ako mag-umpisa.
Yeah.
Right. Don't
Makikita mo saan ka
then
gagalaw.
isa-isahin mo yan.
Mm-mm.
Then you can manage it, and then you can see what caused it,
Oo.
what are the solution.
Mm-mm.
Tapos, look at what are the strengths, and look at what are the weaknesses. Kadalasan naman ganun pagdating sa pang-araw-araw ng buhay natin. Kasi there's such thing as also trouble prevention, preventing it
Yes.
occurring.
May
But
plans ka para hindi maulit.
Even if it takes place,
Prevention.
even if, kunyari hindi mo na, talaga mangyayari may ganun
Oo.
Pero you minimize the impact.
O yan, meron suggestion si Miguel na sinabi, this week I made the sea glass of San Juan. They upcycle sea glasses that they find in the beach and turn them into beautiful accessories like necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and
Oo.
Oh, you
Ang
see,
gaganda nun,
something-
lalo na yung mag-green na glass. Beautiful
Something
siya.
that is naiwan or something that is not meant to be at the beach.
Trash siya dapat.
Oo,
pero meron ginawang paraan.
May paraan talaga.
Maganda.
There's always a solution to it.
Yes. Nice. That's a nice input, Michael.
Meron
Miguel.
din tayong kasing tinatawag, yung sinabi mo, prevention, meron din tayong troubleshooting.
Right.
Kumbaga troubleshooting, yung kung meron kang, don't turn a blind eye.
Yes.
Parang don't ignore it. But actually look at it and then find out the cause, the root causes,
Yes.
para ma-solve mo from the most basic, from the
Yes.
root cause mismo.
Oh, especially, let's say on a personal level, let's say I got into trouble with a company na, halimbawa, ilaw, hindi ko nabayaran yung aking
Oo.
bill. bakit di ko nabayaran? Now I'm in trouble, putulan ako.
Oo.
Then you see your patterns of behavior na, baka naman I keep putting it off. Sige,
Oo,
bukas
last
hanggang
minute na
nagastos ko
lang.
na yung
Oo.
pangbayad.
Oo.
Diba?
Or, you know,
you have to find out eh. Yeah.
Like now, because the International Coastal Cleanup objective is meant to bring awareness
Mm-mm.
to
To
the
all the
issues,
trash
to the marine
problem.
issues.
Mm-mm.
Kasi the blue environment
Mhm.
is so vital for us,
Yeah.
for all entities in the world. Kahit na kamo hindi tayo nakatira sa karagatan.
Ang laki
And-
nung kagaragatan, no?
And you
Bigger
know
than
what?
the landmass.
The coastal areas of our country, which our country has one of the longest coastlines,
Yeah,
mind
I
you.
think it has the longest. Tayo nga
Yeah,
yata.
kasi halos napakahaba niyan eh. Kasi puro
Archipelago kasi.
archipelago kasi tayo. Alalahanin natin na yung impact natin, na nagagawa natin, o na the way of we live our lives. Kasi right now, nasa statistics kahapon ng presentation, yung plastic mas dumagdag.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yung
yes,
carbon,
dahil sa-
yung carbon
ano?
mas dumami
Yes.
during this pandemic. Tapos,
May mask pa, no?
yung mask, yung PPEs,
Oo.
ang dami. Tsaka syempre, yung mga food packs,
Yan.
kasi ini-individualize eh.
Oo.
Yeah.
You know?
Yung ayuda.
Ang daming maraming, there's so much involved in it. So, and the inability of people to go do their normal chores of cleanup.
Mm-mm.
So, let's say itong beach cleanup, normally, if this was we were in a normal situation,
Oh,
we'll have thousands of people
Yes,
out in the
yes.
in the coastline. Yet, the activity like this, huwag natin ipagkaila. Every person has to share. Now, the point that was being discussed during that Zoom thing yesterday had to do with each person has to be responsible enough. Now, there's always this thing that comes up during webinars like this, where there are a lot of marginalized communities.
Yes.
And this is where the struggle is, the bottleneck, when it's confronting or facing to bring about environmental solutions. Because the marginalized communities, kahit isang tuka yan eh. Pag sinabi niyong magtanim ng puno, ano papakinabangan ko sa punong yan? Ano ba pakinabang ko? Simpleng-simple lang yan. Tapos, kami nga, nahihirapan sa ganito. Tapos sasabihin nyo sa amin na hindi na kailangan i-rehabilitate namin ang aming mga komunidad para hindi namin, kumbaga, babaguhin namin yung pang-araw-araw namin na gawain. Kung ikaw ay magsasaka o mangingisda, may mga bagay kang kailangan baguhin. Ngunit kadalasan, because marginalized nga yung
Adaptation,
community, yung ability nila to adapt is where the issue is. Kasi it's a survival thing for them. Eh.
Limited din.
It's
kasi,
not about
oo.
those of their individuals who are struggling to be comfortable. Eh. But on the marginalized community, it's a struggle to survive. So it's something that is confronting them constantly every day of their lives. Araw-araw, ganyan na. Yan ang nasa isip nila. Kaya nga, I was talking to one of my, she's an IP, no? Indigenous people siya na Cordillera. Nag-uusap kami. Sabi niya, the Igorots have this nature of resiliency. Na for so many, years, they tend to always keep to themselves and keep their tribal practices intact. So, and the culture that they had is the one that helps not only yung alam mo yung mga household kanya-kanya lang. No, it's the way they live,
Tribal.
it's always tribal. That's why
Tulungan sila.
nagtutulungan lahat. So, in situations like we're faced with today, this is so vital. But now, I was talking to her yesterday, sabi niya, Sir, galing ako ng Mountain Province. Sir, galing ako sa ganito. Binisita ko yung mga ganitong lugar. There's no question na nagbago na yung kultura nila. Pumunta ka sa isang lugar na very tribal yung setting. Nakatira pa sila sa mga native homes nila. And this was the time when I was going there. Sabi na, Sir, puro sementado na yung mga bahay. Sementado na yung mga kali nila. Wala na rin. Pero wala na nagtatanim talaga, sir.
Mhm.
Ang matatanda pa rin. Yung ganun ba ang sinasabi sa akin? So these are things when you
Excuse
hear
me.
about such situation, you know that we are not making an impact on younger generations to come together and be a part of the solutions that they are faced with pagdating sa future. In tribal life, everybody deals with it from the elders down to the, most
Children.
children and the
Oh.
most marginalized of the community member. Pero kagandahan doon, they talk amongst themselves to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Cooperate.
Then
Oo, tapos
they
magko-cooperate
cooperate
sila.
and they even compare notes of the past. This is how our elders did it. So that's why I'm speaking to you on this, because this is a system, a support system that helps communities to deal with issues. And that every person, every family member has something at stake, and that it may be them that will need the help. It may be a member of their family. So,
Excuse me.
yesterday, ito yung isang topic na lumabas eh. Yun, kasi there's so many, I think almost 24% of our population in the countryside especially are indigenous people. But yet, you will find in their communities, they face so much trouble. And with climate change coming our way, and also with the pandemic, so many things are not being addressed in the normal situation that takes place during normal situation. But today, mas pa. So, ito sabi niya nga sa akin alam mo sir, when I was in the city of Baguio, there's this place where many of the Igorots would hang out. And doon, ang dami-dami daw ang mga tao. There's that particular park where most of them would hang out, because this is a place where if you're from the mountain province or from another location, not Baguio City, if
Di
you
ba
need
there's an
to
Igorot Park?
if you need
sa
to meet
Burnham?
if you need to meet somebody, dun yung meeting place ng Igorots. You know, so ngayon nangyari yan, sir. Daming mga tao ron. And marami talagang walang trabaho.
Yung makikita dun sa expression ng
Yes.
mukha.
At sa
parang,
body language,
you know, parang
talagang.
tulala, parang wala ng hope, you know. So actually, this is a sign talaga that kahit ito nga kung ito troubleshoot natin, paano nila dapat i-deal itong trouble na dumadating sa ating lahat at this
Yes.
particular moment.
Yes, I hear Miguel responded that one of those who tuned in today is Letty Gapi Gonzalez, a Happy International Coastal Cleanup po, sir and mom, sabi niya. She's one of the individual who actually volunteers, helps Miguel, you know, who
Very nice.
goes every day to the beach to do cleanup. Yung
Ay,
daily,
naku,
kumbaga
maraming
ano,
salamat.
yung daily, alam mo tayo, naglilinis ng sarili natin bakuran, ano?
Oo,
Pero
part
yung
of
paglabas
her,
ng bakuran,
ano na,
hindi na natin
dayan.
naglilinis. You know? Anyway, these are so many things. That's why when people are doing this type of work, they're preventing problems to occur in the future. Let us not be thinking
Just
that,
keeping the problem small and
Smaller.
making it smaller and smaller.
and then you
Actually,
know,
Kasi tulungan
Meron
na.
din proverb na sinasabi, a trouble shared is a trouble halved. Kumbaga,
Nahati.
nahahati yung problema kung maraming mag-share dun
Yeah.
sa pag-solve ng problem na yun. Kaysa ikaw lang, dala-dala mo lahat yung problema. Pero kagaya niya, meron kang team na tumutulong sa paglinis. Ang hirap kaya kung mag-isa ka, kita mo yung coastline, haba-haba yan.
Many hands make light work.
Yes,
Oo.
yes.
Madali lang.
let's say if you have many more of Letty and Miguel and everybody else who's
Oo.
tuning in,
Hindi na
Then,
maiipon ng mga basura. kahit
everything is a
saan.
lot easier, you know? You know?
Yeah.
Mas madali. The
Mas
work.
nagiging manageable.
And
Yes.
plus,
There's nothing like
Plus,
cooperation talaga.
you know,
Teamwork.
you know one thing? There's one thing. Anybody who volunteers to this type of activity, it's a selfless work, selfless service that you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not even work, it's service that you're doing. You know,
Yes.
when you say kasi work, parang trabaho para sa sarili ko eh.
Ahirap
medyo
na.
Mahirap.
mabigat, oo.
No, selfless
Pag-service,
service.
masarap
Pag ginagawa
gawin.
na service to humanity and environment, yan eh. You know? So this is so wonderful kasi you know how it changes your own mindset? The person's doing this. And these are the same individuals. When things go wrong, really, the trouble becomes a lot more severe.
Oo.
There's people who have solutions and to share such kumbaga marami akong masishare para makatulong ako ma-resolve yung issue.
Oo.
Oo.
It's
Yeah.
a spirit, volunteer spirit, no? Para talagang kung may problema, hindi umiiwas, pero gusto makabahagi sa paglunas ng ating mga problema.
Yes,
Diba?
and look, Miguel is saying he's joining a group of free divers sa Luna, no? Sa La Union. And they're gonna check the
Wonderful.
ocean floor. So not just the beach, pati sa dagat na sa ilalim.
Meron
sa
kasi
ilalim
yung
ng
makikita
tubig.
mga basura dun sa
Yes, talaga.
ocean floor talaga.
Oo.
You
Yung
know.
mga hindi natin makita sa beach, nandoon.
Sabi ni Melissa, bless
Buti
you,
naman.
Miguel.
Oo, thank
No?
you very much.
Thank you.
Alinette de la Rosa, di Makulangan. Good morning.
Oo.
Okay, then
Sana
Marilu
dumami ang
Madrid.
katulad
Oo.
nyo.
yes, it is so important. And then, like later nga, may mga may mga seminar on the Kurma thing that amongst the youth.
Yeah, to
Yes,
teach them
to
also
teach them.
awareness and
And then they
How
will
to
be
help.
coming as a strong, doing their thing,
yes.
and how they can help, what role, what do we do? Yun kasi kailangan may guidance eh. So people who are actually volunteering already and been doing the work for some time, there are many who wants to do something. There are those, we want to be involved eh. We want to be a part of the process of resolving things.
At saka,
Yes.
actually, when you do the cleanup, kasi sa International Coastal Cleanup, pinapasegregate nila. That's where you will see the greatest number of certain items na talagang are washed on shore.
Oo.
Yan yung mga plastic na sa mga chichirya, tapos grocery bags,
Yeah.
tapos yung mga talagang minsan, yung iba medyo rare, pero mas it shows the lack of concern yung mga diapers, baby diapers.
Wow.
No, those are really tapos mga kahit cigarette butts, no,
Yeah.
yun ang lumalabas din. So people isip nila, maliit lang yan na bagay, tapon lang yung cigarette butt na yan. Pero
problema, malilit.
Recently,
Pasok sa food chain.
here in La Union,
Oo.
yung aming ilog na Baroro.
oo.
Baroro is the main river, yung pinakaugat niyan, where the springs are, Lonoy and all those places, San Gabriel, is the main source of water for the central district of this province. Ayan, 4 na bayan yan, no? And it is so important, katulad dyan, I was dealing with a friend. I said, may ganitong, nangyayari. Can you help out the youth to go out and clean up the river? Na kahit na hindi natin malinisan yung buong haba ng river, kahit dito lang sa barangay ninyo. Tapos,
Stop it where it comes
yes,
from.
tapos, let the youth, kasi kailangan lang naman nila bigyan ng merienda at saka bigyan ng mga gamit.
Oo.
Tsaka para kailangan protektahan natin yung
Enable
kamay
them.
at saka yung mask. No? Para hindi nila hinahawakan yung mga trash
baka
directly with their
masugat,
hands. Masugatan
ma-infection.
or baka magkaroon ng, siyempre, madumi yan eh. Basura yan. Mas lalo, basura ng ilog tsaka papunta sa dagat. Tapos nagtatanong sila kung saan sila mag-uumpisa. This is in Santa Rosa and Joaquin.
Oo.
Yung kaibigan ko, sabi ko, magbigay ka lang ng 5,000 each barangay just so that makabili ng mga gamit sa pang merienda ng mga bata. Then I heard they're all going to be organizing themselves this week. And I told them specifically where the trash is. Hanapin niyo yung ganitong gilid-gilid ng
Where the
ilog.
bends are.
Nandun lahat, sabi ko ng basura, para hindi kayo
Doon in
Yes,
certain
hindi kayo
parts.
maglalakad na napakalayo.
You don't waste
Piliin
your
niyo yung lugar.
energy.
Oo.
So, alam mo, I think
Naka-pinpoint
some group
na.
started Biglang, tama, nandun nga lahat ng mga basura.
Naiipon oo. Okay.
So Myra Muriel is sharing, in the
Yeah.
early 70s as a young mother, I taught this mantra to my young kids. The world is not my trash can.
Very
Now
good.
they are parents and my
Oo.
apos as adults have inherited that mantra.
Oh,
Na,
Yes,
It's good.
perfect. We really need to teach the children. Silang umpisahan natin. So as they grow, they pass it on to their children. No?
It's
Para
the world
naman
they will
the
live in.
generations
We
later,
cannot
wala
be
nang
ignoring,
problema.
right now there's a lot of clamor pertaining to the education of the children, being unable, the high school and grade school, unable to go do a face-to-face classes, di ba? Alam nyo, kasi unang-una, there's 2 years already that a lot of them are missing out
Mm-mm.
And the more they struggle with what they have, because their capacity to be able to cope is still very limited. So that's where the struggle is. This is why the depression or any of these things that takes hold of a person or a family or a community of young people, this is where the issue today is. Yun yung problema. Kasi nawawalan sila ng hope.
Oo.
Ano future namin?
Oo.
So, pinaglalaban yan, even UNICEF Kailangan gawa na natin ng paraan, makapasok na yung mga bata. We all have to move this way so that the children are involved, the young people are involved in doing their education because very limited pa rin ang kapasidad natin pagdating to bring about, alam mo, interesting education activities because many of our teachers were not special ed teachers. You know?
But like now, here's Dixie. She's sharing, no? I'd like to share a word that I have taught to my homeschooling son. Kasi she can't send the son anywhere, no? She's homeschooling. The word is reverence, which means to have or treat someone or something with deep respect. My hope for my children is that reverence becomes a household word. We should show reverence for our fellow humans. We should show reverence for our earth. We are mere stewards.
Okay.
Yan ang values na dapat
Yes.
talaga yung sinasabi natin, teaching the young people.
Yes, whether they're in school or at home, you can
Yes,
still teach
oo.
this to them.
And that if they have this, then okay, they can be all responsible stewards of
Yeah.
the planet. Hindi
Oh,
ba?
we can make
Yeah.
sure they're going to keep on the fight, to keep this place all right. And our relationships also are included there.
Meron nga sinasabi here that a flea can trouble a lion more than the lion can harm a flea. Okay, so maliit lang po yung yung flea. Pero kahit malaki yung kalaban niya,
Kumbaga, garapatay.
But that's true,
malaki
di ba?
yung
Some
kalaban niya,
things are...
okay lang, maaano niya yan,
Parang
ma-attack
ano
niya
yan,
yan.
minsan, mami, yung
Meron
hindi
kasing
kuto sa ulo.
bagay.
Di ba?
May bagay kasi
Purga.
minsan it's just a
Purga.
small problem, but it causes a lot of pain.
Correct.
Halimbawa,
Oh, yes.
you're running, there's a little pebble in your shoe. Ang laki ng problema yun, di ba?
Ay,
Pero maliit lang pala siya. Kaya natin gawan ng paraan.
Di ba mga niknik?
Oh my God.
Torture
Oh
yung
my
mga
God.
niknik
O kaya,
maliliit eh.
minsan ito
It might be small, but at least doable, no? May magagawa kang paraan.
Yes, oo. So actually,
I want to share, like Kagawad Malu of from the Barangay Council of Dalampinas, in San Fernando. And active volunteer din. Ay, more power to everybody.
Yes.
Please remind and help our those who are in the leadership active position. Help them kasi sila rin hirap na rin eh. You know, the proportion of the number of population that's growing and the magnitude of work is so overwhelming now. You see, it's so overwhelming. If anything on the environment, sometimes ayaw mo silipin yan eh.
yeah.
Kasi ang laki ng
Kasi
responsibility.
constant rin eh, no? Yung kailangan gawin.
So yung mga ating mga pictures, documentation, kagaya ng mga scientists, hindi ba, they did their studies and
Yeah.
everything. And it gives a message. It goes to show how if the problem is deteriorating, talagang
Yeah, or maybe
lumala, or
getting
maybe
better.
improving.
Yes.
hindi ba?
Actually, with those who are listening in, who are doing all their beach cleanup right now, I can share you inputs of some of the real information so we can actually share it to
Real
the
data.
Oo.
yeah, real data to na
Oo.
napakaganda. Very
Oo.
informative. I will share it with everybody. And then this can be a basis of what helps guide us and then to share it amongst the young people and everybody who's a member of the community who lives along the coastline.
Yeah.
Actually,
Which
pati
is
kagaya
almost
sa
all of us
Kurma
here.
data natin,
Yeah.
yung mga statistics dun sa mga na-find the nest, tsaka mga nag-hatch na mga eggs, makikita that this year or last season was particularly high. Maraming mga nests, maraming
Double.
mga hatchlings dahil and, their
There was-
presume is pandemic, kaya tahimik.
There was
and,
less activity in the beach, in the
Oo.
nesting sites, you know.
However,
And-
we've also had some deaths this
But
year.
we did have
yeah?
some sad stories
Yeah.
of mother marine
Turtles
turtles
found
dying,
dead
found
already.
dead already.
Oo, we're still
Nalalaso,
waiting the
no?
news. kung
But anyway,
bakit.
most of this, kaya many of our viewers, many of those who are nakikinig, look, We all have a part.
Mm-mm.
We all have the potential to make a difference.
Yes.
Let's
here we
not be
have something.
self-limiting.
We have something from Letty herself. Yeah, Mr. Miguel, my co-volunteer and other doers members, inspires others for their daily coastal cleanup in our community. May the young generation, especially students, be involved in the environmental awareness,
Growing
Ah.
civic.
growing civic activity.
Alam nyo,
Gawing
Gawing
civic
civic
activity.
activity.
alam nyo yung
Yes.
yung kapon one of the conclusion was we really need to make sure that many of this information that are coming around will not just give information, but we will show models. Like here, ito, sila, the groups of the doers, they're showing a model.
Oo.
It's all doable.
It's all doable. It can be done. It doesn't take so many. It can take
Yeah.
only a few, but
Few
yet others will
dedicated
be,
individuals
others will be
makes a
inspired.
big
Yes.
change. Yeah.
You know, so sabi nga ni Katrina, medyo malakas daw yung dating dun sa kanila sa bundok. San Mateo yan in Rizal. So, ridge to reef ang ating tinatanaw. Actually, kanina pang umaga, maaga pa lang, ang dami ko nung sinasagot ng sa mga Viber, sa mga email, kasi nag-i-inquire, paano ba kami makatulong sa ganito,
Oo,
makatulong
maraming
sa
gustong
ganyan.
tumulong. Maganda
Kasi
yan.
paano ba maging successful sa ganitong ginagawa natin? What is the formula? Yung mga ganun ba? Tapos may isang grupo, puro mga senior citizen. Gusto namin mag-start ng gardens. May mga ganun Home
Nice
gardens.
naman.
Kasi kumbaga siyempre pag ganito ang naririnig ninyo at nakukuha mong mga sulat or emails, ay nako,
Paingganyo naman.
kailangan sagutin, kailangan gawa ng paraan. Okay, ito para padaliin lahat ng nangyayari.
Parang yung mga nakikinig sa atin, pag nababasa ko yung mga ginagawa nila, yung mga comments nila, nakakaengganyo rin.
Yes,
di ba?
oo.
Very inspiring
Very
and very
nice, oo.
encouraging, Merong ang dito na sinasabi na mga isang Yiddish proverb, bygone troubles are a pleasure to think about.
Tapos
Kumbaga,
na
actually, hindi ba pag nagkukwentuhan, ang pagkukwentuhan nyo sa isang biyahe na flat tire kami, naglakad kami, na lubog kami, yun ang ikukwento mo. Kung ano yung mga troubles na
Right,
dinaanan
exactly.
nyo, hindi ba?
At na-survive.
At
nyo
na-survive.
talaga.
At nagawa mo ng paraan.
Interesting.
It becomes smaller than it felt at that
Tapos
time.
tawanan na lang kayo
Right.
ng tawanan,
Oo.
hindi ba?
Babalikan nyo. Kasi yung mga ganyan, yung may mga,
Akala mo yung ginawa natin.
yung mga may stress ng konti
Tawanan
at
na.
ginagawa niya
Yes.
ng paraan,
Oo.
yan ang mga memorable kasi you learn lessons from it.
Yes.
Kasi kapag masyadong madali yung trabaho, parang,
Boring.
parang pang araw-araw,
Oo,
tsaka
wala
dinaanan
kang
ko na ito,
maikukwento.
napakaraming bahay. Alam
Kasi
mo, may,
troubles makes you, dig deep, di ba? Yung mga
There
kaya
was-
mo palang
resilient.
gawin.
there was
Oo.
this one foundation na I'm a part of. Sumulat yung pinaka-chairman, taga dito sa atin, sa La Union. Sabi niya, may nagsabi sa akin, ganito na dapat dito tayo sa mga watersheds.
Ikaw yata yung nagsabi.
Simula bagay sa akin, galing yung idea. Pero si chairman na lang yung nagsabi. Pero sabi ko naman, bigyan mo lahat ng tao a chance to, feel comfortable in whatever position they have. But on the end of the day, sabi ko, it's not about planting trees. Just as Miguel, they are very involved. The doer groups is involved not only in picking up trash, but also putting vegetation.
Coastal planting.
Yeah, beach clean, beach forest.
O yun,
Alam nyo,
kahit yung mabababa na halaman,
Yeah.
importante
You know
siya.
what? Sabi ko rito sa, he's an elderly, respected individual here in our province. Sabi ko, it's not about planting trees.
Oo, pati
It's-
ground cover.
It's
kailangan
about growing a forest. Sabi ko.
with all the different kinds
Tapos
of
bumalik siya
growing
ulit.
things.
Ang bilis. Kasi doktor siya. So parang, can you explain this some more? Kasi kadalasan, we've just been planting trees.
Oo, we forget that, the underbrush.
Tsaka we need to see to it that those trees will grow.
Yun.
Ito nga yung mga bukang bibig ngayon ng mga
Ayun,
climate
maraming
scientists.
naiiwan na puno, hindi naman lumaki.
We have to grow a forest. Even if it's so small in your bakuran, have a little forest. You can come up with a little forest of herbal plants, small plants, such forest where diversity can thrive.
yung mga pinupuntahan ng mga pollinators, no? Kailangan yan, yung mga
Kahit
damo-damo.
naman mga bayabas, yung mga
So,
medium,
you know,
small trees.
So, the topic is
Atis.
actually, ito kasi pinag-uusapan natin na
It's a
mga
big
troubles
topic.
na hinaharap natin eh.
It's a big
Sa pandemya, alam nyo,
topic, oo.
if we have a good environment, it will make a difference with people's health. But
Oo.
without
Oh, yes.
We
a
have food
healing,
sana that we can make
kasi
with us.
the natural environment is a healing environment. It heals you physically and it heals you mentally, and
Yeah.
also it connects you to your creator.
Yes.
Yes. Oo.
Iba
Meron naman
talaga.
sinabi rin yung mga Iranian, sabi nila, the drowning man is not troubled by rain. Oh, kasi basa ka na eh, you know. In other words, you know, if you are seeing really the serious sufferings that, you know, the world is going through, yung mga maliliit na issues, as you said, you will not be troubled by that anymore. Kumbaga, ano eh, mas merong
Tumibay ka na.
mga importanteng problema na dapat tayo harapin. Kaya sabi nga ni Tito Toby na, yung mga nag-aaway ng politicians, you know, focus on the bigger problem. So that's where we should exert our effort, no? Ma-take away tayo from fighting each other and instead working together.
I want to read this part that Mila Arroyo is the biggest challenge we have. Sabi niya, we face is shifting human consciousness. You know,
Not
really-
saving the planet. Oo. The planet doesn't need saving. We are the ones who need
Right.
saving. It's so true.
Alam
Talaga,
niyo,
it's our consciousness
the whole
that's
idea
causing all
is
this trouble.
to uplift each other's
Yes.
consciousness.
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Kasi on the end of the day,
That's why we got this show. Oo.
the consciousness of every individual will make a difference in a person's life.
Yes.
How he will govern his life.
Mm-mm.
Kasi from the early time of our childhood, we're already being, kumbaga, meron na tayong mga wants and needs natin
Namomold
eh.
na
Namomold na
tayo,
tayo
oo.
eh.
Yes.
But yet, we should not always be looking externally, but actually internal growth is very vital. Because when you deal with consciousness, you deal with so many factors. Your environment affects your consciousness. The type of people you hang out with affects your consciousness. The things that you do on a daily basis.
And the consciousness affects the environment as well.
As well, there's so
Yeah.
many components to this. But anyway, we're running out of time.
Let's just read the
We're
last
running
few
out of time.
greetings from Ananda Tevesngo from Zambales and Matt Resurrection said,
Definitely, very
in
Enriquez too. Good
nature,
morning.
there is fundamental unity running through all diversity we see about us. Religions are given to mankind so as to accelerate the process of realization of fundamental unity. Or in other words, harmony.
Yes.
You know, we need to
We
see
are
that
all
harmony.
one.
Oo,
And
work
uplifting
for
each other's
In
harmony.
one
consciousness
family.
for the better is always a key to peace. With peace, there's harmony. You cannot, it's a very comprehensive thing. It involves holistic changes in people's lives, so that your perception of what you see and how you see life in general is very important. You see, every person has a role to play,
Yes.
and understanding our true nature is vital. And that we see ourselves as just, kumbaga na dumadaan tayo dito sa mundo na to. We're not permanently here.
If
But
we
there are
have the
those who-
right perspective, we'll do
Right.
things right.
There are those who would choose to be here all the time. So this is what you have. You'll end up with struggling and disunity amongst people.
Yeah, so we don't become the troublemakers.
Right.
We become the trouble solvers.
Okay. So last with Letty Gonzalez saying, go, 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 go Palakas. Congratulations po for the food of the
For thought.
Yes.
food of thought. Okay, again,
Okay.
we're gone here. Thank you
It's
so
a big
much.
subject. Maybe we can continue next time. There's a lot to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
God bless and be
Thank you for
careful.
joining us.
Okay.
Stay out of trouble.
Mabuhay kayong lahat. Thank you.
See you again.
Okay.
Pangkalusugan, pangkalikasan, go Palakas!